Hello, we're back. We're looking at page 99 in the workbook. This is the Mozart example. And if you look at it, you're like, oh my God, there's a lot of pitches. How am I going to figure it out? Well, the nice thing is the textbook tells you what the harmonic rhythm is. In other words, where the chords change. Now, if it did not tell us this, it would be a little more difficult to try to figure things out. However, if you were to listen to the work, then you could hear where the chords change a little better. So non-chord tones, again, are not just seen, they're also heard. So let's take a look at this example. So first step is to figure out what the heck is going on. What pitches are part of the chord and what pitches are not part of the chord. Well, this is an easy measure because we see these accidentals, and most likely the pitches with accidentals are not going to be chord tones because we are not dealing with chromatic harmony. In other words, harmony with chords from pitches outside of a key. So when looking at an example like this, which is a piano sonata, a lot of times if we look at the left hand or the bass clef, we can get an idea of what is happening in regards to the harmony. So if we look at the left hand, often, especially in this style, we have the Alberti bass, which is basically a broken up chord. So it's pretty easy to kind of figure out what's going on. So if we look at this first measure and we compress, we have an A, a C, a D, and that's all we have. A in the left hand, a C, and a D. Now, D, C, A is not going to make much of a chord, right? D, A, C. If we were to stack that, let me show you on this notation here. This is really bad, but we have a D, an A, and a C. What's missing here? We have a root, a fifth, and a seventh. What's missing? That's right, the third. I feel like we're on Blue's Clues here. So if I add a third into there, looking at the key signature, it would be an F sharp. I can figure out that that is a D, F sharp, A, and a C. D to A, perfect fifth. D to F sharp, major third. That's a D major triad. D to C is a minor seventh. So this is a D major minor 7 chord. That's how I figure out what's going on here. Again, I have an A, a D, and a C already given me. I put it into order, D, A, C, and then I figured out, oh, there's a missing F sharp. Where's the F sharp? Well, if you look up here in the right hand, or the treble clef, you can see the F sharp right there, and that tells me that I am indeed correct. Now, the A is in the bass, the fifth is in the bass, so that's a second inversion, right? So that's a D major minor in second inversion, which is A4, 3. Okay, so again, I'm just naming first, and then I'll go through and assign function. G, B, D, that's a G major triad, right? G major. E, B, G, that's an E minor triad. B, G, and D, B, G, D, that's G major again, but this time the third is in the bass, so that's a G major 6 chord. C, A, E, A, C, E. If I compress this, A, C, E, with the C, the third in the bass, so that would be an A minor 6 chord. D, G, and a B. G, B, D, G major, with the D, or the fifth in the bass, is a G major 6/4. D, A, and C. D, A, C. We had that before in the first measure, right? Look for that F sharp. There it is. So D, F sharp, A, C is D major minor 7, and then G, B, D, G major triad. So I've named all the chords. Let's go back through and assign function. In G, that's a 5, 4, 3, 1, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 1, 6, 4, 5, 7, 1. These two form up to be a dominant function. So 1, 6, 4, 5, 7 to 1. Now I go back and I circle anything that's not a D, an F sharp, an A, or a C. So this G sharp is not a D, F sharp, A, or a C. This A sharp is not. This B is not. This C sharp is not. Make sense? So if I look at this, I've done this measure, I've circled everything that is not a chord tone. Let's look at how this circled pitch is approached and left. The A moves down to the G sharp, then back up to A. In other words, step down, then step up. That's what? A neighboring tone, correct. Here, I'm moving up by step and then up by step. So approach by step, up, left by step in the same direction. That's passing. This B is approach by step and left by step in the same direction. That's passing. This C sharp, approach by step up, left by step up, same direction. That's passing. Over here, second measure. I'm looking for anything in this first beat that is not a G, a D, or a B. And if I look, everything is part of the chord there. Looking at the E minor chord, E, G, B, anything in this beat that is not an E, G, or a B. And there's nothing, so all of this is chord tones. Now, G, B, D, I'm looking for anything that's not a G, a B, or a D. This F sharp does not fit into that chord, does it? It does not. So, how do we figure out what it is? We look at how it's approached and left, just like we do with stepwise non-chord tones. So this is approached by leap down, left by step up. Approached by leap, left by step, that is a or an appoggiatura, right? Approached by leap down, left by step up. Now here, this next chord, A minor 6, I'm looking for any pitch that's not an A, a C, or an E. And right here on this first little thing, I'm going to circle that D sharp because that does not fit in. Now I'm looking for anything that's not G, B, or D in this, and everything is a chord tone in this beat grouping. Now finally, D major, or not finally, but penultimately, D major minor 7 here. I'm looking for anything that's not a D, an F sharp, an A, or a C. Anything that's not a chord tone. And this B is not a chord tone, and this G is not a chord tone. So now let's go back and identify what kind of non-chord tones we have in this measure. This D sharp, how is it approached? It's approached by leap down, left by step up. What is that? Leap and step? That's an appoggiatura again. So 2 appoggiaturas in a row. How's this one? This B, how is this approached? It's approached by leap up, left by step down. That's an appoggiatura. This G is approached by step down, left by step up. That's a neighboring tone. It's an N, by the way. Good. Now finally, this measure. Anything that's not a G, B, or a D, we're going to circle. So here we have these 2 pitches are circled, these 2 pitches are circled, and these 2 pitches are circled. So step down, leap, and then down. Whenever you have this, basically if you look at this, we have 2 pitches separated by a leap, but they return and are left by the same pitch. So this is what we would call a neighbor group. Here, same thing, neighbor group. Here, neighbor group. Now, it's easy to spot these neighbor groups because you have the first pitch, the original pitch, and then you end with the original pitch. And what happens between is we visit both our lower neighbor and our upper neighbor. So here, B and B, lower neighbor, upper neighbor. D and D, lower neighbor, upper neighbor. Those are neighbor groups. So that's page 99, letter C, or letter A, number 4. Hopefully that helps.